Well, that was weird.
Did you get it?
Yeah, it did actually shut off live stream.
Whoops.
How? That's okay. That's okay. It's
Said
probably good to have a different
Experiment.
big crew. Smells Fargo.
But
Smells
anyway, yeah,
Fargo.
it's a 775 number. You'll find it. It's a Nevada number.
Yes, it said from
Only 10 minutes away.
I keep trying to get you to tell about the caucuses that you've been on. Look at you. See? Here you are on TV. Thank you. I will call you if I have said problems. So what caucuses have you been on? I will hear it. Smells Fargo. This just knows the propaganda. Remy Medic. Remy Medic. Are you whispering? It just never stops around here. Oh, Remy Medic, is that his Twitter? Okay, so okay, seriously. What caucuses have you been on? I know you were on medical.
Well, the one guy from medical, what's that guy's name? You know?
I don't know.
The guy that people thought was dead for a little while. That guy. The white ponytail. Yeah, people thought he was dead for a few hours one time. And Joe from safety seemed to be caucusing together, I guess.
Yeah. But you were there.
Sure, I sat down there were empty chairs
Well, were you participating in their discussions? In breakout
a little
groups?
bit.
What other groups have you been sitting in on? Or find your affinity with?
Well, the lawyers one time, I remember.
Oh, yeah?
Lawyers back in Szymanski. Yeah, I was hanging out with the law people.
How was that?
So, fun, it's all fun.
Do you have any particular one, though, that you enjoy their...
No, these I don't,
Hi. We're a vigil at City Hall.
No, it's about the City Hall. No, we can't get it.
We're here to protest the cancel ban where they Yeah, if we'd actually scored them talking to us, I was gonna say we should Bring the camera. Pointed at him. Haha, I've pointed the camera at you. And I've stolen your soul. So, no, really. Have you ever, like, okay. I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like. We had this breakout discussion. The discussion might be, how are we as groups going to participate in the cart occupation here at City Hall? And okay, 1, 2, 3, go. You're sitting with medic and peace and safety.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
I think they started talking about metal at that time.
Oh yeah, they seem to really want to talk about that, and we had to come back to it, and then we never did. About how to deal with this if we should take City Hall up on an offer. Their security would like to just have them not walking by the sidewalk as trespassing, which normally wouldn't be possible, but there is, I guess, a precedent for it, and got some down twinkles, and it is a little scary. There's a lot of reasons. I mean, you're not for anyway. So they're talking about that. So that's like the opposite view of some things. I mean, you're down twinkles on shunning. So, you know, but their safety and want to know, you know, they were for that. So you had divergent viewpoints, or
Yeah, I did actually say something to Joe. I think that's the guy's name, the safety guy. Talked about how to work with City Hall or the city or police to. And I said something like, "Isn't that escalating the situation?" And then Michelle said, "Well, he's probably mostly sort of trying to think about if he personally were in a situation where it seems to be called for him to do something about the excluded person. He wants to have some kind of legal backing, people that would series of arrangements that would cover his ass, basically.
for
Whatever. Yeah, we didn't get into
who
those
wants to have
details.
that?
Michelle was saying that this Joe, I think,
No, that's what she thinks his motive
interpreting
is.
what he had been
Okay.
saying as a kind of
So
counterpoint.
not the most. Okay. So she's suspicious of his motives.
No, I mean, she was.
The challenge of working with absolutely everyone, because it's a public space, is a societal revolution right there. That if we don't sweep problems away, if we don't put everybody in prison because they're not our way, you know, if we don't limit freedom because people who are in decision-making power don't like others. But I've had a very real example of, do I get a restraining order against somebody who says you're not going to get away with this, don't think you're going to get away with this, and corners me. And all the 20 people who've told, you know, some of them who have told me their stories that are frightening. So, yeah, I feel threatened. I can't go down to the bathroom without having somebody looking for me. So, you know, a personal restraining order for myself, I'm having people expecting me to do that. I've had people who say, you can do whatever you want with that. I'm going to support you either way, but a restraining order might escalate the situation. Um, and that is true. But a restraining order also covers if you were to get other people to harass you for you. That would be a violation as well. But here's the thing. I don't like what I like the preventative aspect of a restraining order in that somebody might have to listen. Don't harass me and don't bring other people to harass me or threaten me. But I don't like you can't threaten, as an adult, you can't threaten discipline without being ready to mete it out. And uh, do I want to see people imprisoned? No. So if I don't support throwing people in prison, but would I put somebody in prison to save my life? Probably. I mean, if they're harassing me. So I just I'm real suspicious of the whole thing. I'm suspicious of the way laws often seem to punish victims anyway, ultimately. So I'm suspicious of being involved with, yeah. None of these solutions seem real good. But I do think that you're either going to abide by community norms, which are, they're real common sense. I mean, it's not like a lot of big, huge, specific rules. Just do unto others and, care about the movement. And if you say, well, screw that, I'm going to do whatever I want to. Okay, so you're not with us, whatever. And over we had that. So, okay, so there's a person who's acting like a detractor and sending that message of you're not with us because you keep saying you're not. You can't have it both ways. You're either with us here and supportive and positive, or you're not, and then you're just hanging out, following us, harassing people. So that message was sent. But Piper was mentioning the A list and the B list. What'd you think about that?
When? No, I don't.
The B list at Rainbow is like you
Oh.
tell somebody you're on the B list. This is arbitrary thing. It basically means persona non grata. And being on the B list can put you at the end of the food line or just get you ignored or whatever. I don't know, but it's not a very fun place. It's not like you're excluded. It's just everybody's like, oh, B list, that person, and it's a response to a behavior. So it's not a permanent thing. It's not like you wear a B and get a tattoo and forever you're a B. It's like your status at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and but I've gotten to a point where now that I have heard what has been said and done to my friends and how many of them and personal stories, and then of course my own encounter, I'm done with second chances, and I've dealt with this for months. I'm done. So there's no B list here. But they've managed. You think about if we'd had that, then maybe those lines wouldn't have already been crossed. If we'd already had that in place, maybe we wouldn't be at the point where I'm done. But anyway, so positive feedback on that idea. So we're the only occupation possibly that's excluded somebody who wasn't known to be an infiltrator officer.
Oh, I thought I remember New York kind of doing that one time too.
Yeah, there sure weren't a lot of.
Or maybe just exclude somebody from participating in some particular way.
Yeah.
Just not sure.
Well, we'll see. I feel like there could be fallout, and you know, here's the sin of it. We could have done something earlier. One of the options was for people who have had the harassment to document it, take it to the police as independent people who have a right to safety. The law is, we're not, nobody in Occupy is asking people to forego their safety and their right to access police. And so if people had documented their own harassment and presented it over and over to an officer who was taking those statements, this would have been dealt with just like any citizen, and not by Occupy Portland, but in fact by just a collection of autonomous individuals working together. And unfortunately, I felt backed up into a wall because I had a 16-year-old have comments made to her that made her uncomfortable because they were about her body and being hit on and so forth. And she was young enough, naive enough, that she was unsure of herself because she was wondering why this old man was hitting on her, and she didn't really want to believe it. So she was starting to think that she was imagining, and I had to ask her what the comments were, and she was feeling ashamed. So, I mean, this is a person who came to us for safe haven, who'd had a hell of a life, and you know, and a lot of these kids are from foster care group homes and so forth, where they've dealt with abuse from families and then from foster parents or from group homes themselves, institutionalized, treated horribly. And I hear these stories, so they're very vulnerable to begin with. And I don't think it should be a picking ground for predators. So with that responsibility, but you know what? I'm tired of picking the lesser of two evils. I don't think I don't think we wanted to do that. I think sisters came up with that proposal out of desperation because time was of the essence. So, anyway, we could learn a terrible lesson from that, or we could be relieved of a danger. I have no idea. I am now vulnerable because, as I said would happen, that makes him turn toward the vigil, and especially to me, so he's already done it. Occupy Portland now has this massive obligation to protect us here and myself by occupying. So we got some, you know, essentially twinkle fingers for the A list and the B list. So, but it seems so, I mean, it seems so, there's something creepy about that too. Oh, you're B list. Sorry, but you can have food if there's any left over after everyone's had their firsts. Or, no, I'm not going to help you with your whatever. That whole persona non grata thing. I suppose if everybody appreciated the fact that after a stint of terrible behavior and you're still wanting to participate, that you, in your probation on the B list, did very, very well, and people were able to forgive and forget, and then you're made on the A list again. At that point, if we all throw a party, give you some silly hat to wear that you're A list again, and make fun of ourselves a bit, I think I could dig that. Because we have to have some kind of way of making sure that it's about behavior.
Yeah, I didn't hear. I missed that. I heard him say that they also, when somebody is violating their community norms, they sometimes, at Rainbow, tie him to a tree and dose him with acid, and then let people come up to him and tell him how they feel about what they did. That kind of stuff.
Is that for real? Who said that?
Yeah, I think Piper said it to him.
Okay, see, down twinkles. That's
No, but that's a possible way to actually change the behavior fairly rapidly. You know, work on the nervous system on a. You got your verbal therapy combined with your pharmacological therapy.
okay, but dosing somebody? Now, I guess if you're in this community, you're agreeing to that is a consequence. I mean, this doesn't just because here's the thing. Metal told me that story too, except he told it to me like they crush up acid into a powder and blow it like fairy dust in your eyes and your face, and it will permanently brain damage you. It sounded like a story you tell to children so they don't ever do drugs or don't ever go to Rainbow. And so there's that story, you know. But then you're saying that there's some validity to this because Piper's confirming that you can get tied to a tree and dosed with acid and told what that person has done wrong by others. See, that sounds culty. Seriously culty. No thank you to that whole process. Plus, I'm not a drug user, so that would really violate me. Anyway. Yeah, that's freaky. So, A list and B list, up twinkle, being dosed with acid tied to a tree and lectured, down twinkle. That sounds like a horror story hippies tell their children to scare them into scared straight. Well, I would do A list and B list if it were seriously, seriously funny. If there was no humor involved, I think it's a little freaky. But what about serious, egregious behavior? We have coffee.
We have coffee over here, you guys.
They know.
Very actually.
Is that my cup? Put my cup down.
Put your cup over here and I need it.
Put my cup down.
But I didn't.
that got brought up. Hi. What were the other issues that spoke?
Live stream in issues. What do you
What
mean?
were the other
What else?
issues?
Prime times. Saying we're live streaming.
What other issues were brought up as well? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, talk to them.
Were you there?
Somebody's idea for something to do on October 6th. Is,
Oh, on October 6th. The Nestle thing.
October 6th, our block anniversary.
Oh, yeah, yeah. October 6th. Yeah, I remember that. I guess here's going to be the issue with October 6th. Since Occupy Portland consists of about 200 different organizations, or whatever the hell it is, we are. I don't think there's no restriction that we could even fathom on October 6th. I would hope that we have a really good showing on October 6th. Of that, I think we've grown significantly since last
Hi, Susie Q.
October 6th. And a lot of us marched, like some say 10,000 marched, I say 12,000 marched, 13, 14,000 marched. And I think that the next October 6th we should do a lot better job, just to prove the fact that we do have some serious problems. And the only way to deal with it is to get together and unify. Make sure it happens that no one can take the limelight. No one can take the objective away from us. All right, because a lot of people try that. They try to sort of like, how would you say, in a democratic or a institutional way, like people that we're used to. How would you capitalize on that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mario.
Mario's trying to sleep.
He's really asleep. Anyway, it'll give me a chance to charge up
All right.
my phone. So, I'll go do that. You want to ride in the car?
Where are we going?
It's a nice car too, by
Down
the way.
to a
Sweet.
different loo.
Yeah.
What's that?
Can I go?
I'm
Well, I have
just.
to go too, or do I?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you gonna go, or no? You can go. I'll wait here. I'll hold the
No,
fort
I'm
down.
thinking about going to bed.
Well, um, now, do you have, let's see, I'll give you a ride, if you like,
Could do
or partly, you know, well, shoot, I better not,
that. 15-minute walk or something.
not so bad.
Less than I used to. I got run across there.
Well,
Much less.
can you go with me down there, while Mike watches the fort, and
I'll
then,
hold down the fort.
and then, we'll have Mike go after that. Will that be okay? And drive somewhere. So, have you?
It's a broken launcher.
No, it's not broken. I brought those. They're not broken. Oh my fucking god!
This
Well,
is,
sure.
Garbage.
you know, how much respect do you have to have, John?
Maybe somebody had a finesse and they broke it.
What?
It's gotta go. Okay.
This belongs to me. Then. I brought it. And now it's yours.
Just a messenger man.
Just a messenger.
Oh, my bad.
Try to make it feasible again. I'm sorry that I just this is. I brought a few things that are getting broken, and it's like a new trend. Because I traded that one. I bought a cheap one for the house, and I brought two down. So. All right. Well, I'm gonna go off the air, go down to a safer loo, and see you guys when I get back. Wait 30 minutes.